pleased to present for your consideration.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Jabberbox Podcast, episode 35. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Bond, and with me are the Icy Blues of the Desert, the former devil himself, Mr. Daniel Singleton.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
If you're joining in for the very first time, you should know that this show is about the two of us as we ramble on through pop culture topics, such as, but not limited to, games, movies, shows, and whatever else we want to jabber about. You can get the show over on youtube.com or your favorite podcast service by searching Dandy Digital or Jabberbox and hitting that subscribe button. If you like what you hear and want to be part of the show, then head on over to patreon.com/dandydigital. Now let's get into the show. Dan, how's your week been?
It's been very busy.
That's good.
Excuse me there. Yeah, it's been pretty busy. I have spent quite a bit of time in front of my TV, but we'll get to that.
All right. So I want to get into a little bit of thing. I started working out on Monday.
All right.
Like actually going back to the gym.
Like a gym or like the home stuff?
Like a gym, like Planet Fitness gym.
Okay. Lunk alert.
It fucking sucks. Yeah, lunk alert. I read that sign every time that I'm in there.
Has the lunk alert alarm gone off since you've been back?
No, but that's because we get there at like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Dude, like I'm up so fucking early and I feel bad because Mary, she's like, I can tell, you know, that she's trying to keep to herself. Because when she wakes up. She's a morning person. I am not a morning person. So, like, I know I look like a bag of cat shit sitting in the passenger seat on the way to the gym. You know, where she's just driving and she has the music on, but we don't talk at all in the morning. Like, I'm just struggling.
You're there.
I'm a corpse that she's, you know, transporting over to the gym. So, I mean, it's gotten better throughout the week. Monday was super fucking rough, right? So we get up, I'm struggling to even put my pants on, right? Like I think I'd like almost tripped on myself a couple times, you know. We go to the gym. We'll do like 5 minutes or so on the elliptical to get our heart rate up. And then we do a series of core workouts, I guess. We consider it core, but we'll do like arms or legs depending on the day, right? So if it's like arm day, we'll do, you know, our arm exercises and shit like that, and then we'll go and do other core stuff. Like I don't know what the machine's called, but like I get on top, or like it's one of the ones where you kind of like dangle your legs with and then you raise your legs up. So I'm like working out my
so like leg lifts?
Yeah, I guess if that's that's exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, leg lifts. So I do that every day and that sucks. And I can tell that my body just wants to give out after certain. So I do three reps of 15.
Okay.
And by the last one, like my arms are shaking and you can see my body starting to like go down. I can't like keep myself up long enough to do it. So I really do like 2 reps of 15 and then 1 rep of 10 because I can't stay up long enough to do the extra 5.
Fair enough.
But, you know, I'm super out of shape. But it's funny, this morning I get... I'll get into that in a little bit. But so after my leg lifts or whatever, then we jump on to the Stairmaster, essentially, for 15 minutes. And that fucking kicks my ass like none other, man. Like I'm just drenched in sweat. You know, like I feel like I'm dying. And I feel like there's a couple times where I felt like I was going to throw up, you know. But I know that one's going to help me out, like slimming down. I'm more there to slim down than I am to get muscle.
Sure.
But the muscle is a plus. And so what I was saying is this morning, as I was getting dressed, Mary looked in the mirror and she started smiling. I was like, what? She's like, nothing. I was like, well, what is it? Now I'm starting to feel self-conscious, you know? But apparently I'm starting to get like the outer ab wall, like lines down my stomach. So it's starting to show up a little bit, which is new. I noticed that I am starting to shed a couple pounds. I think I can see it in my second chin as that's going away. Like my neck, like that's where I first gain my weight before everything else, and that's the first place that I lose my weight. So that's starting to slim down. I can actually start seeing a jawline a little bit. So
nice.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for the week.
Get them cum gutters, boy.
Fuck, man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. I've never had them. I have taken the exact opposite journey the past 2 weeks. I have put, sadly, I have put on like almost 15 pounds in 2 weeks.
You're not doing the intermittent fasting?
I have not been. My in-laws were in town staying with us for a couple weeks, and all of it just went to shit. Okay. Every day I came home, it was like, hey, here's fresh croissants. Here's fresh cinnamon rolls. We made sausage stew today. Like, it's like, God damn it. We're not going to be here for St. Patrick's Day. So we made a whole corned beef spread, like corned beef and potatoes and roasted cabbage with this special like vinaigrette sauce. And like, God, I am hungry. Okay, fine.
So have you polished that off?
Not yet. So there's a shitload of leftovers, and I cannot waste food. I can't bring myself to do it. Right. So I'm giving myself this weekend to get rid of all of that extra food and consume it because I don't want to waste it. And then starting next week, we'll be back on for the fasting.
Now, are you going to try to eat all of it, or do you just eat a normal portion and whatever's left over by the end of the weekend is kind of, forfeit?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to play that one by ear because Jessica's going to want to eat some too. So I don't need to eat all of it, but I suspect that I will be the one to consume most of it.
Yeah.
This morning I finished off all the croissants, so that's out of the way.
Right. Thankfully, right?
Yeah, God, I hate croissants so much. So it's been, the exact opposite journey. But once I get back on track, it's not difficult for me to fast. Really, what did it was when they first got here, the first couple days I was fasting, and I came home and they had made something. I don't remember what it was that night. And I was like, oh, no, thanks. I'm going to pass. I'm in the middle of fasting. And my father-in-law was just like, it just kind of mocked it a little bit. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this for 2 weeks. So I just ate. I didn't want to deal with it. That's fine. I'm still nowhere near my worst. It's like 15 pounds isn't the worst. It's not ideal, obviously. It's not what I wanted, but
right.
I'm so far away from my max of 250 that I was at once upon a time that I still feel fine about it. Like, this is manageable.
Yeah, and it's not like you're doing it all the time. They don't live here. You're not going over there every day for dinner or snacks, So like, right. You gave yourself a period of time and now you're going back to it, Like, the problem is a lot of people, when they do that, they don't go back to it. They're like, nah, well, fuck it.
Yeah. I was hoping to be below 200 by my birthday, but that's obviously not going to happen because that's less than a week away. So, yeah, that's okay though. It's okay.
Right? You're close to it, and you keep going. Yeah, and you never know. Like, the fasting might actually just shed off a lot of it, especially with it getting hotter outside.
Yeah, it's getting warmer. I'm going to be moving back to before they got here, we bought an entire case of Pepsi because my father-in-law enjoys Pepsi.
Right.
And then he got here and he's like, oh yeah, we had COVID earlier this year. And ever since then, Pepsi, I can't stand it. So there's this whole case of Pepsi sitting in the house. I'm actually, as we record, the thing I'm sipping on is the last Pepsi in the house. So I'm making progress on getting rid of this stuff because I don't want to waste it. So
yeah.
By the end of the weekend, I feel confident that I'll be able to be all set.
Hell yeah. Cool, man. Well, just because I've been working out doesn't mean that I've changed my eating habits a whole lot. I've stopped eating. I wouldn't say I stopped eating, right? I'm not doing the fasting, but it has curbed my appetite for a while. Around dinner time, I'll start getting hungry, or more lunchtime, I get hungry, and then I'll have like like 5 chicken nuggets and maybe like a small thing of fries. Something really small, but something I like. But I still do my cookies, and so I got crumble this week.
Yeah, buddy. I did. So everyone listening, I did not do crumble this week. As I discussed last week, that was probably going to be my last week, at least for a while, just because of gas prices. Gas prices are still where they are. So I did not do crumble this week, so I can afford to keep going to work.
Right. So what they had was, or what the ones I had, so original featuring Lucky Charms, right? So it was like a sugar cookie with marshmallows on top, but they also had vanilla marshmallow, like white chocolate chips on the inside. They had sea salt toffee. I also had mint brownie and peanut butter cookies and cream. They had the sugar cookie, which was essentially just a sugar cookie with a gold chocolate coin on top. So
yeah, that seems super low effort.
Right. But I know that one's like their sugar cookie, and they just fancied it up for St. Patrick's Day. So, which is essentially all these cookies. I will say that the Lucky Charms one was okay. It is what you expected of it, being like a sugar cookie with white chocolate chip cookie with marshmallows on top. So it's semi on the rich side, but it was all right. So I think that one that fell in as number 3 overall for the week.
Okay.
Number 4 was the sea salt toffee.
Not a surprise for you.
Yeah, like the toffee just didn't hit, and like I gave it a shot, and I know I haven't put it on my ranking system, but I know it's toward the bottom with the other toffees.
I suspect that would have been one of my highest ones for the week if I had it.
Yeah, probably. And then there was the peanut butter cookies and cream, which was okay. It still came in number 2, but I think the peanut butter was kind of drowned out by the chocolate that they put it in. So it was just more chocolate with a peanut butter chocolate chip, essentially. You know what I mean? So yeah, still good. I actually like that one. But my favorite one for the week, and I have to look at my list because like I said, I haven't ranked them yet, is the mint brownie. So it's served chilled, and it's just a chocolate cookie with mint frosting on the top, and then like liquid chocolate, like a fudge, like a ganache on the top.
Yeah, on their website, they describe it as a ganache.
Yeah. So that one was my number 1. That one was really fucking good.
Just looking at it makes me think it tastes like a Thin Mint Girl Scout cookie.
Yes. Very similar.
Obviously,
maybe
it won't have that
better.
crunch, but...
Yeah. So it's definitely one that I think hits top 10, maybe top 5. Like I said,
wow.
I have to sit down. It was mint, man. You want a cookie to be fucking highly ranked? You give me mint. And it's kind of like what you said with dulce de leche or anything toffee. You know what I mean? Like it scores high, and
just by default.
Well, I had a feeling because I know that you could fuck it up, right? And there's been ones where it's like, I could have had more mint in it, and so it's going to rank lower. But this one was kind of similar to one of the other mint ones that they had, and it's so fucking good, man. It's like a richer mint, right? So like a fancy chocolate type. So it was really good. Yeah. If you get a chance to get in there before next week by whatever reason, or if somebody at your work decided to get it, because I know you were like switching it off with somebody, but if that's possible.
We haven't done that in a while, actually.
Yeah. But I would recommend just grabbing that one for sure, for shits and giggles.
Oh, well, perhaps. I do have some errands to run this weekend, so you never know.
Yeah. Cool, man. So what else has been new with you?
Well, I have had the opportunity to finish up some cool Lego sets while I watch TV. So I finished the Mjolnir hammer. That is all wrapped up, and it is amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, it looked cool when you sent the picture out.
Yeah, that thing is like 1-to-1 size comparison of the actual movie prop. It's the same size.
That's cool.
It is very cool. It comes with a couple of little things outside of it. Stuff that was kept in Odin's vault. There's like little miniature versions of some of those items.
Yeah, right, like the Tesseract.
Yeah, the Tesseract, the gauntlet, the fake gauntlet that was in there, the Eternal Flame. It also comes with a Thor minifig, and there's a way you can store it inside of the hammer, and then it comes with a display. I don't know what you even call it, but it comes with a way to display it too. So
yeah, which looks cool. Similar to the first Thor movie. When it hits the ground and it's stuck in like that crater, that's what it reminds me of.
It does kind of look like that. What else? So I've also been building the Lego world map. I'm not quite done with it. I'm on the last couple of panels, but that's looking really cool. That is going to be hung in the house somewhere once it's finished. And it gives you extra pieces, so you can put like, it's kind of like when you put pins in a map to indicate where you've traveled in your life. They give you Lego pieces that you can create Lego pins to put in the map to indicate where you've been.
That's really neat.
Yeah. So we'll probably end up doing that. It's not hyper specific. Like, it obviously doesn't list all the world cities or anything like that. But you can put them in the general area, and then it's a good conversation piece, if nothing else.
That's cool. We're on the wait, right, for the next Lego set that was just announced. Well, yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday, right?
Within the past couple days.
Yeah, it was the Lego DeLorean time machine from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Now, I'm assuming based on the price that it's a single model DeLorean with all the extra things to change it from 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, it seemed like that was the case.
So I think I already know which one I'm going to go for once I get my hands on it, and it will be the one where it's flying. I just think I've always liked the way it looked when the tires went down, right? Yep. When they folded down and it was hovering and floating around and shit like that. So that'll be how I display it.
And let's not kid ourselves. The Mr. Fusion portion of the DeLorean in Back to the Future 2 is probably the most iconic part outside of maybe the flux capacitor.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. So that was very exciting when that was announced. I'm still waiting. Like you said, it'll probably be a month out for the tall neck.
Was it April or May 1st is the
for the DeLorean?
Yeah.
I don't remember that up. But the tall neck, I'm still waiting on. So I found it on the Lego website. So Lego DeLorean is back in 2022. Build all new 3-in-1 time machines. So
coming soon on April 1st.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to get that for sure.
Yeah.
I also want to get Ecto 1, which is out of stock right now as well. But I think that those two would go really well with... that's another set. Oh, shit, I totally forgot. I built the Lego James Bond Aston Martin.
That's cool.
So I think it'd be really cool to get the DeLorean and the Ecto 1 and have that as that's a nice trio.
Like your movie cars?
Yeah, movie cars. It'd be a nice trio.
See, that'll be cool. I think those will look nice next to your TV, right? With your a movie display almost. There's a lot of potential there for sure. Yeah, that would be cool. I did order a smaller set, which is really funny. I got the Easter bunnies. Nice. The Easter set off of the Lego. I bought that yesterday. I was like, it's only like $15 or whatever. So I pulled the trigger so I can build it. It's not at all, crazy, but it'll be fun. I want something I can display for Easter and then put it away once Easter's done. So it's got like the 2 bunnies and a handful of eggs, but it's only like 288 pieces. So it's going to be very tiny. Something for my desk, maybe.
Yeah, just a cool little thing to put up. And
I like holiday Legos, like I would, if I could, like people get those porcelain houses and shit like that, like the little towns. I want to do that, but like all Christmas Legos. I want Santa's workshop. I want the gingerbread house. I want just random houses, like Santa's visit, shit like that. Like I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so. The kids have every year they get a Lego advent calendar. So we pop it open and then we add to the Christmas scene just a little bit more every day.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. I did that a couple times. I did the Star Wars one.
It's fun. They enjoy it.
So cool, man. Cool. Dan.
Yes, sir.
So in between all like your family being in town and building your Legos and watching your Marvel, what have you been playing?
Playing has been pretty standard fare for me. PUBG, primarily. I did introduce my daughter to Minecraft, and she's a big fan of watching me play that. She's always like, "What's that? What's that? Go do this. Go this way. Do this." So she enjoys. She enjoys being kind of like my little partner with playing Minecraft. I hadn't played in a long time, and she wanted to sit with me one day, and I was like, "Hey, let's see what she thinks of this game." And she enjoys it, so it's kind of our little thing now.
That's cool.
That's fun.
Does she like tell you what to build and you try to do it, or is she just along for the ride?
A little bit of both. I let her pick, but I also give her options, so it's not like free range.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah. So it's if I need to harvest my crops or need to go feed my animals or whatever I need to do, I'll say, which one do you want me to go do? And I'll give her like 2 or 3 options, and then she'll pick one. I'll go do that. So it's teamwork.
I heard that it makes the dream work. Is that true?
That is true.
Awesome.
I've also
You've heard it first.
Yes, here first. You heard it here first. I've also been playing some random games just for gamer score. Like I finished up Deer Simulator. I've got all the achievements for that now. Townscaper, finished that up, got all those achievements. So little things like that. But I'm just playing those for the achievements, not really to play the game.
Yeah.
Like Deer Simulator was not good. Right?
Right.
So it was easy achievements though, so maxed it out, deleted it off the system, moving on.
You know what? All right, so there's a couple games that I played for achievements, right? So I was trying to go against my nephew. And
yeah, you mentioned this last week.
Yeah, so now I'm going against my nephew and my sister. They play on the same fucking profile. So they've gotten almost up to 8,000. So they've doubled what I was able to do, which is kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? Like that's 2 people doing that as opposed to just the one. But it whatever. It is what it is. There is one. I still have to go back and do it because I just started it, but it seems really funny and kind of like out there. Is the procession of to Calvary?
Yeah, it seems like it's a stupid game but funny. It looks like it's the artwork that would be used in a Monty Python movie. Yeah,
dude, and it's like Monty Python humor almost.
Yeah,
it is really funny. Like there's achievements for like hitting people, right? And so like you're spanking like saints and shit like that. It is really funny. If you're looking for a dumb one to play, I wouldn't play that around the kids. That's what my sister said. She played that one and beat that one before the kids got off school. So,
she maxed it out in the morning.
Yeah. So it's not that long, but I guess there is a couple scenes and shit in there that's not meant for kids. So, But the other one I played was Telling Lies on the.
It's funny. I just downloaded that last night because I came across something and said that it was an easy achievement max out.
It is. And like you could just sit there and, put something on your iPad and do it real quick. But I was paying attention to it while I was doing it, and it seems really interesting, which I think the developers of that game actually announced a new game that was on the that showcase that Xbox did. So it's pretty cool.
It's live action actors, right? It's not like a video game in the traditional sense.
Right. Which there's been a number of them. I've played a couple of them on PlayStation and shit like that. And it's pretty cool. I like the idea of it. You know what I mean? Like on PlayStation, I think Xbox has this too. I don't know if it's an exclusive, but there's a game called Erica. Same thing. It's like you're watching a movie, but you're doing the actions. You're telling them what to do. It's like one of those DVDs, back in the 90s.
Choose your own adventure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's neat. So if you downloaded it, just instead of like rushing through it or whatever, like, I mean, you obviously can, but also pay attention to it a little bit, because it's pretty interesting.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's definitely on my list. There was a few games, that and Rubber Bandits was also on a list of fun and easy to max out.
Yeah. Okay.
There was a couple of others. I can't remember them off the top of my head, sadly. But yeah, I'm probably gonna knock those out. I don't know if it'll be by the end of the month. I might wait until April so that I can have the number one spot.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Oh, well,
I've had the number one spot before enough times.
Right.
Like I was saying last week, that 1 month in 2018 between graduating and then getting a full-time job again, there was that month I just sat here and played games and I got like 22,000 gamer score.
Yeah. It's funny. I told my sister, she's like, are you going to catch up? I was like, at this point, honestly, I don't know. I was like, because I have all these games coming out, and so I don't just have extra time to burn on bullshit games for gamer score or achievements or whatever. Like, these are games I'm actually wanting to play. And so it'll probably that'll monopolize my time a little bit.
Sure.
So, so speaking of like some of the games that I've been playing, so I picked up Grand Theft Auto 5 and I started playing it on the PlayStation 5. And I wasn't going to, I was going to wait. Right. So when the game was announced, I was like we have talked about it before, where it's like, I kind of feel like I totally missed the train on it when it came out for the PS3 because I had a bunch of other games come out.
Right.
So I never got it. And then it came out on the PS4 and the same thing. Like, I just had too many games coming out. I had a backlog. I wasn't whatever. Right. And then so I just never got it. And then I was like, and they're like, well, we're bringing it out on the PS5. And I was like, did I miss the train? Like, am I going to get this? And then like 2 months later, they're going to make Grand Theft Auto 6. Here it is. And it's coming out this winter. And I'm like, so I felt like I wasn't going to be able to have the time I wanted with it, even though I was interested in it. But then they're like, hey, for PlayStation 5 users, you can get this game with all the high res and the 60 frames per second and all that jazz or whatever for $10. But it's only available for $10 for like 3 months. After that, it's going to be a $40 game. So I was like, all right, I can spend the $10 now. And so I jumped in there, and I'm not very far, obviously. Like, I think I played it, 2 nights, for a couple hours each. So I'm very much in the early stages of it. So that's what I was doing. And then today, actually, of this recording, which is the 18th of March, Mario Kart released their first pack in that big ass DLC that they announced.
Yeah.
So it's 8 new tracks, which is really fucking cool, man. I meant to actually go in and check what tracks they were, but so there's, out of the 8 tracks, 7 of them are from other games, including the DS, which you and I played, when we all had the DS and we were playing Mario Kart on there. So it was really cool to see it on the Switch and on my TV. So I played that. So 7 tracks were from like the 64, the DS. 2 of them were from the mobile game, which is really cool because I was completely lost when I first started. I was like, I don't recognize this track at all. Right. As opposed to the other ones where I was like, I vaguely remember what this is like. And then they did one, which I really like at the very end of the second pack. There was a track that's brand new. So it's not redone from any of the other games. It's brand new to Mario Kart 8. And it's like a ninja, like a feudal Japan type level, which is really, I actually like that one a lot. So do you have Mario Kart on the Switch?
Yes.
So it's
I've played it 1 time since I got it.
Yeah. It's $25 if you want to buy the pack outright, or if you have the expansion pass so you can play the 64 and the Genesis games, it's free. Free with the asterisk because it's like $80 a year, but whatever. So that's how I'm playing it, is I have the expansion pass, so I just downloaded it and gave it a run. I'm completely out of practice on Mario Kart on that one, so even on, because what I like to do is I like to do like every track speed from the lowest to the highest to learn the tracks and get better, and then make sure I get all the the 3 stars and the trophies and stuff like that. So I was out of practice for that one for sure. So I need to start playing it a little bit more. But then aside from that, I'm almost done with Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one. I'm on chapter 13 out of 15, so I'm getting real close. I know I'm in the final area because I'm going after the big boss. So I think I think 14 and 15 are going to essentially be wrapped into one. Or, 14 and 15, you know what I mean? So it's like getting up to the boss will be 14, and then it'll have me save, and it's like, now you're in 15, and then I beat the boss, and it's like, okay, you're done. So I think that's how it's going to go. I'm getting real close. I'll probably try to beat it this weekend. But aside from that, I've been playing Tunic.
Ooh, that's one of the games. That's one of the ID at Xbox games that they talked about. Yeah.
So I had a feeling this was going to be the case, right? Because they weren't allowing me to pre-order it. Because I wanted to support the developer. Because when they announced it, I was very much into it. I didn't realize it was going to be kind of like a Souls light game. So it is difficult for sure, but I'm enjoying it. So I bought it outright for like $30 or $40 or whatever, as opposed to just downloading it through Game Pass. So I don't know what the difference is for what the developer is able to rake in from my purchase, but I like to think a bigger chunk. So this game, it is hard, but they also have the accessibility options to you can adjust it to where you don't take damage, right? It's like a no fail mode. And then there's another one where it has you don't lose stamina, because like dodging and shit takes stamina, and using your shield takes stamina. So I haven't done those yet. I might do it because I heard the later on you get in the game, the harder it gets. And I'm terrible at these games, and I paid for it, so I might as well stick it out to the end. And if that means I have to turn off, damage mode, then I'll fucking do it. I bought the game, but it's cool. They don't give you any sort of direction. They just kind of dump you in there, and then you kind of have to figure it out. There's shit throughout the world. It's more like explore this and find this, and there's treasure chests fucking everywhere, man. If you plan on playing this, check every waterfall. If you see like a platform, like if you're going upstairs and there's like a little ledge that goes one way, check the other side, because there's a chest probably on the other side of that as well that's hidden from you, which is neat. It's super cool. I like the idea of it. So, and then my favorite part is like you find these little pages laying about the overworld, and when you pick them up, that's the page of the instruction booklet, which is really fucking cool, man. And it looks like the old school Zelda NES booklet when you look through it. The artwork looks very much similar. And they have like little screenshots, and they tell you what certain things are doing. The signs and shit that you see in the game, it's done with a made up language, so you can't read it. You could probably decipher it if you get enough of the pages, but like you can pretty much figure it out. When you go up to a page and hit A, it asks you a question, but it's in a language you don't understand, and it's either yes or no. You're going to hit yes. It's essentially like, would you like to pick this up? That's essentially what it's asking you. And then it pops it up, and it looks like paper. It looks like they scan these pages, and that's what it looks like. You can see like the little staple marks and shit like that. It's super fucking cool. And I like this part of the game a lot, which sounds dumb, but I like it. And then you get to see like there's a couple things where it's like I collected a bunch of treasure chests, and they had shit in there, but I don't know what to do with it. And then I found a page that told me to like use it at the altar, right? Which is where you save and heal up and everything like that. So you can essentially use it as a tribute, and it helps you out with your health or your magic or anything like that. It's super fucking cool. So I recommend anybody who's out there and they have Game Pass to try it out. Check out the accessibility options as well. If that's not your type of game, turn on the no fail mode, turn on the, no depletion of your stamina, and just fucking play, have a good time with it. Because that's super fucking cool that they did that. And it allows me to play a game that I'm terrible at the genre with. So,
yeah, everybody said it's kind of a Zelda-esque type of game. It was not expected to be on day one Game Pass availability.
Oh, okay.
So apparently a lot of people were not expecting that, and then boom, here it is.
Cool.
At least for Xbox.
Yeah. Well, and it's exclusive, so. But eventually, I hope they bring it to the PlayStation, because I would play it again on there too.
Yeah, so the other two big announcements for the ID at Xbox was, and as we've already talked about, Tunic. Then there was also a Void Train, which it's a massive open world concept. And there are basically, I haven't played it. It's not out yet. We don't know a release date. Sometime in 2022 is all they've really said. But there are train tracks going through the void, and they seem to be just constantly moving, and you can go out and like swim, quote unquote, through the void to go explore or collect items or do missions or whatever it is the game's going to allow you to do out there. And it seems like you have some sort of grappling hook, so you can kind of navigate through the vast expanse of nothingness.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me in the trailer. Obviously, don't know for sure, but that's what it kind of seems like. And then you have to like kind of work your way back to trains that are constantly moving through. Not all the trains are the same, so it seems like there might be factions. Because in part of the trailer, it shows two trains running parallel to each other, and they're like shooting grappling hooks at each other, and they're dropping planks across the void so that you can like send boarding parties over to try to take over the other train. So exactly what the game's going to be is not entirely clear to me based on the trailer, but it looks intriguing, and it looks like something that could be fun.
That's cool. Sounds neat. Sounds like it's like, I don't know, like a free-for-all for sure.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Kind of vague on the trailer.
Right.
Which I've noticed most trailers are like that. They don't really give you much as far as like, what the hell is this game?
Yeah, try to pique your interest.
Because I looked at that last week. We were talking about, was it Kentucky Route Zero?
Right.
And I watched the trailer for that, and it doesn't really tell you anything. It's just like, hey, this is what the game looks like. Have a good day. Bye. What do you do in it? How does it work? What's the point? I'm not asking for spoilers. I'm just asking for
a synopsis.
Yeah, like, why do I care about this game? You're just showing me people randomly walking through nothing. What does that mean to me? It means nothing.
Right.
So, but that game does pique my interest a little bit, even though it doesn't give you a lot of breakdown of the, what it is. It looks unique enough that it might be worth checking out.
Cool.
The third major announcement for ID at Xbox was Trek to Yomi, which is a side-scrolling platformer, I guess you would say, almost. It's in black and white style, so it reminds me of what is wow, now I can't suddenly think of the name of that game. Came out several years ago. Super critical acclaim.
Not Inside.
Well, it's that style, but
right.
That's not the one I'm thinking of. But it is that kind of animation style and color scheme. So it's all black and white. And it's a samurai game. So it's got the aesthetic of like a feudal Japan almost. It is what I see in it anyway.
Right.
And basically, you just hack and slash your way through these levels on a side scroller.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they showed that off at the PlayStation State of Play last week. So that it looked interesting. But yeah, you're right. So it's like the black and white samurai game that's like a side scroller.
Yeah, that's the gist of it. It's not really something in my wheelhouse, but as far as visual quality, it looked pretty high.
Right. Yeah, that'd be something I might check out. Do you know if did they announce if that one was coming to Game Pass?
I don't believe they mentioned one way or the other.
Okay. So it might be something
it's
to check out.
But yeah, who knows for certain.
So I also watched it as well. That it was Immortality. That's the other game that they showcased during the ID at Xbox. That's the same developer of like Telling Lies that we were just talking about, and it's the same thing. You essentially have to go through a bunch of home movies about this woman to see what happened to her, and it's another like one of those live action type movies.
Okay.
So, I was actually kind of excited about WrestleQuest. So essentially, like you're doing pro wrestlers. They have younger. I want to say younger versions of actual wrestlers. So they have like Macho Man Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, and such like that. And your quest is to become a wrestling legend, but it's all done in like a pixelated art form. So that one, we don't know when that's supposed to be coming out or if that's going to be Game Pass, but it looked interesting. So I that one's on my list a little bit. And then, so I'll check out Void Train, but I actually liked the trailer for Whalefall. That was pretty cool. So it's a strategy RPG, JRPG type thing. In the likes of like Suikoden and Final Fantasy. And essentially like these flying whales, every time that one of them dies, it changes the world, whether it be like an economical disaster or science just like takes off and reshapes the world in that way. It looks it is. So like the cutscenes and such were very like anime or cartoon style, and then the gameplay reminded me of like Final Fantasy 3 on the 3DS or the DS or whatever. So like they're chibi, and like in a weird, like almost like a 3D style. So I mean, fucking strategy RPGs are on the rise, man. And so Whalefall has my attention for that one. And then the other one was Flintlock. So that one comes out this year, and it will be Game Pass. I don't know much about it. All you see in the trailer is a woman with a weird fox, and she's attacking undead creatures. And Flintlock, so she has like an old school pistol. That's essentially what it showed.
Single
I don't know.
shot.
Yeah. So I don't know more about it, but it looks interesting. The cinematic trailer has got my interest on there. So I think that's about it for the Xbox conference.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the way that they do trailers now because they don't actually tell you anything.
Right.
It's like, okay, that looks cool or it doesn't look like it's my thing or whatever it is for the game, but it doesn't tell you anything. Like, okay, you're seeing this person walk through with a flintlock pistol and some weird wolf with maybe magical powers.
Right.
What is that? How does that differentiate itself from any other game in that genre?
Yeah. And I know, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned, but it will be open world. So it's another one of those things where I think there's too many open world games because they're designed to take a lot of your time. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, linear games are pretty rare now. I think of something like the old Medal of Honor games where it was first-person shooter, but it was you go down this hallway, you go left. You go into this room, you beat bad guys. You go through the room, you take a right. Like that's not very common anymore. Yeah. For any style of game. Yeah.
I think there will be a renaissance for that. Much like the pixelated, 8-bit style kind of popped up, and strategy games are coming back, and like those fell off for a while. So I think it's just a cycle. If we pay attention to it, and we're on a wheel, and here you know what I mean. So linear gameplay will come back. It'll probably just be 20 years.
Yeah, right.
But
I
cool,
guess we'll
man.
see. I guess
Right?
we will find out. Hopefully, we're still alive then.
Yeah, hopefully. That's the main problem about me kicking the bucket. You know, I'm gonna miss out on so many games. I say that quite frequently. You know, like, man, I'm so upset that one day I'm going to die, and like all these games I'm gonna miss out on, all these TV shows like Marvel and everything. Like, these kids have no fucking idea like how good they have it with all this shit at their fingertips.
Oh, right? Yeah. Gone are the days of walking through a video store and being like, ooh, I want to see this movie. Fuck, they don't have any copies left.
Right. Or like there isn't a whole lot out there. So it's like, you know, this summer, the summer blockbusters, there's 3 movies. You know, I will see all those. Now it's like every weekend there's 3 movies out that are blockbusters. It's like, well, all right, well, Friday's this, Saturday's this, Sunday's this. And then next week we do it all again with the new movies. So
who has that kind of time or money?
Right. Fuck, man. If we can make this the full-time job, I will have that time.
I've been slacking, man. I've been slacking. I still have not seen The Batman.
Well, it comes out on HBO Max in April. So if you're not going to do that,
I might just wait. I might.
So
before that new sound system, so let's put it to good use.
Yeah, right. So before we get into that, though, there was one thing that I saw today that the Steam Deck, right? So Valve's Steam Deck. They worked with Microsoft and they were able through Microsoft Edge to get Game Pass to work on Steam Deck.
Oh, dang.
So you're going to have your entire Steam library and the options for cloud gaming and shit and Game Pass on the Steam Deck. That's actually pretty fucking dope.
That's a big boon for that Steam Deck.
Yeah. So, you know, come quarter 3, once I get my hands on it, I'll be able to play like all of my Game Pass games and Steam games downstairs. You know, I'll play my Switch until it dies, and then I'll bust out the Steam Deck and play those games. You know,
and why not?
So, yeah, that'll be cool. So that was out today. I wanted to mention that. So what's been? Do you have any news or anything like that in the game world? Before, I have a couple things, but I wasn't sure if you had anything.
No, it's been pretty quiet other than the whole ID at Xbox thing.
Yeah. So there's a couple things. And there was an update for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They are finally bringing out the legendary Pokemon Arceus, and you will be able to get it through certain means. You get the Azure Flute, which is kind of what you use in the Legends game. And if you use that at like a location like Mount Coronet, which I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but for those who are listening, you use that flute and you will be able to challenge the legendary Pokemon and try to capture him for your game. So that was pretty cool. EA came out and they are canceling. They said they're canceling their EA Play for this year, which is essentially like their Nintendo Direct, their PlayStation State of Play, or their ID at Xbox. It's essentially their E3 presence. So they said that they are going to be canceling it for 2022. However, the verbiage that they used when they were describing why they were not going to do that, they're canceling it indefinitely. So and EA, so this is on IGN.com, an EA representative shared the following statement with IGN, in which they said, "We love EA Play Live as it's our way of connecting with our players and sharing what's new with all of you. However, this year, things aren't lining up to show you everything on one date. We have exciting things happening at our world-class studios, and this year we'll reveal much more about these projects when the time is right for each of them. We look forward to spending time with you throughout the year." So they're kind of going in the way that we were bitching about it before, where like these games are being shown off super early with little to no details, and then we don't get anything for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
In the terms of Tunic, we've been waiting on Tunic since 2017. Which is 4 years. I honestly think they announced Tunic much earlier. But so it's super fucking cool that they understand what they're doing and they're changing it so we don't have to see that. And if they don't have a presence, they don't have a presence. You know what I mean?
EA is big enough that I think they can not be involved and people will still be interested in what they're producing.
Right. Let's see. So like for the case of Tunic, yeah. So I mean, it's been a couple years in that case. That may have been a bad one. But for like the case of like Mass Effect, that was announced way too fucking early. They're like still like in a I forget the fucking term that they used, but they're like thinking about what the game is going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Storyline development and discussion, basically.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like, we want to make a Mass Effect game. And then they're just fucking sitting there staring at a blank piece of paper trying to figure out where to go. That's too early. And I think that EA changing it, because they did it, EA and BioWare, right? They're the same fucking thing. I think they got some backlash on that shit. So
yeah, possibly. Hopefully this is a trend that picks up across the industry where, hey, quit giving me blue balls.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now, it'd be different if they're like, hey, this game comes out next year. And we're like, awesome. Or in 2 years or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think 2 years is the max or the earliest you should be able to show something off.
And I would even limit that to, that's got to be your tentpole games. Like, hey, we have a new Halo coming out in 2 years.
Right.
We have a new Call of Duty coming out in 2 years. Like that, those big titles. Yeah, that would be the max. I would say for anything else, you could probably get away with a year, but that'd be about it.
Oh yeah, like you could be like, here's a cinematic trailer to show off. So like in the case of like God of War, right? Sony, when they first announced it, they showcased this dark house with two people talking, and then like Kratos steps out of the shadows, and okay, that's fucking God of War. Right. And then they disappeared after that, that was at E3. And then a year later, I think is when they showed off some of the gameplay and they talked about it a little bit more. And then I want to say like 6 months later, because E3 is in June. So like 7 months later, right? Or what? It came out March the following year. So, they were able to start putting information out. So like 6 months later, they were giving us details, and they gave us details leading up to the game. And that's cool. That's what I want to see. That gets you excited. I don't want to fucking, like you said, I don't want to get blue balls all the fucking time because of them wanting to just, I get it. You're excited and you want to talk about it and you have to fight people that are trying to leak this shit. But like at the same time, enough's enough. So good on EA for being able to do that. And then I think the final piece of news, which is super cool, and I wanted to talk to you about it a little bit. So Supermassive Games reveals a spiritual successor tool for Until Dawn. Now, Until Dawn was a PlayStation exclusive game, which was kind of based in the realm of like a 80s slasher type movie.
Yeah.
Right? So like it's meant for like teenagers. You follow a bunch of teenagers, and it's like kind of like you choose your own adventure. It's linear, but like you can fuck up and kill everybody, right? So they're coming out with another game called The Quarry, and they actually did a poster for it, which looks super neat. It looks like a Friday the 13th style almost. So you see like a shadowy figure in front of a full moon. The backdrop is all like forest. And then in the center, underneath the title, you see a campfire with like 7 teenagers and a couple adults. And as it goes up, right, the teenagers are on the fire, so they're really well lit. And as they start going up, the characters start getting more shadowy up to the killer. So it's going to be like, I like it. I know you didn't play Until Dawn because it's a PlayStation exclusive, but this one will be coming out for all consoles or like, like PC, I think. PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One. So these are the same guys who did the Dark Pictures anthology, which I know one or two of them was on Game Pass, and I do recommend trying that out. Like you and Jessica could play that. It's really, really cool. They have like a movie mode where you guys take turns controlling characters depending on where they're at in the story.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So Mary and I play like we will get it and we'll play on our own consoles and we'll put the headset on. But we've actually played it like for Halloween because that's usually when they come out. The Quarry will be out in June. But like we got it and then we played with our family. So like Halloween night, like after the kids went trick or treating, we put the game in and then we essentially put in how many players there were, and then we would rotate the controllers and we'd try to figure out like what are you going to do. So you can kind of be a dick and kill people, or like, you know, I don't know. It's really neat. So it's something that I wanted to bring up because I actually like Supermassive games quite a bit. So I recommend it.
Speaking of games you can play with people, I saw that on Game Pass, It Takes Two is on there now.
Oh, cool.
So we should play that.
We should
play that because it got Game of the Year from multiple institutions.
So we should figure out a day where we can sit down and play a little bit at a time and make it an experience.
I'm down. I have some. I've got some because my birthday next week. I am not working. I'm working 2 days next week, so I'll have some time. You let me know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about it off air for sure. We'll set that up. Then. But
we'll take this offline.
Yeah, right. I did see. So Supermassive does have the first game of their Dark Pictures anthology on Game Pass, Man and Medan. That one is actually a lot of fun. So download that and we can play that together too.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Now, what I'd like to do too is like we'll have the headset on and we'll play and we can talk or whatever, but we won't say anything about the game. Like it's almost like a blind thing where it's like, I don't know. It was really cool when Mary and I did it. I think you and I would have a lot of fun with it too.
All right. I'm
so
down.
More story, less skill and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Which I think is really cool. But that's it for game time. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Okay.
Now, tell me, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Where are you at on the MCU? We were the last week. We got halfway through Loki.
Yes. Oh, what a week it has been, Andy. What a week it is. So I finished Loki. I finished WandaVision. I finished Falcon and Winter Soldier. I finished Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I finished Eternals. Finished Spider-Man Far From Home. I did not watch No Way Home because I had just seen that in theaters recently, so there was no real reason to double up. And then I literally 5 or 10 minutes before we started recording today, I finished Hawkeye and finished the from start to beginning entirety of what is out now for the MCU. The only possible exception to that is I have not finished What If, but because it's all hypotheticals, it's kind of not directly in the MCU.
Right.
So I haven't finished that yet, but I have finished all of the core story for all of the MCU stuff released to date, as of an hour ago.
So let's unpack it a little bit, right? You finished Loki.
Yeah.
So what about that? What did you think? What were your feelings?
It definitely got better after like episode 3, because I wasn't really caring too much about Sylvie.
Right.
But I'm pretty excited to see where they take that later.
The ending was crazy, right?
A bit.
So I was watching it at the gym because I put it on when I'm on the stairs. So it's really cool. You get to see all the different Lokis in the other world, like after they're pruned.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. Like, it's a fucking alligator.
Yeah, I like that. I also like the older Loki too, which was like the classic Loki from the comic books. Now they're all from the comic books, but I really liked him too. He was a pretty good Loki.
It was good, and it was a good introduction to Jesus Christ, why can't I think of his name? I'm on like MCU overload. There was so much.
Oh, you talk about the end guy?
Yeah,
Kang.
basically who the King. Thank you.
Yeah, Kang the
Like,
Conqueror.
who the villain's going to be moving forward, and I'm sure that's going to play a pretty big part in the overall MCU coming up.
Yeah. Yep. So that was really neat. I liked at the end where, they're trying to find each other, but they're scattered across their own times.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really neat. Yeah, man, I love Loki. I loved watching it again. It's so fucking good. And then the music. I love the music. I want them to put the soundtrack on vinyl so I can get that.
Hey, never know what could happen. Although I wouldn't hold out for it.
Right. Now, what about WandaVision?
So as you warned me, it was a little confusing for the first couple episodes. And then episode, 3, it clicks. And it's just like, okay, here we are.
Right.
I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I know some people are really conflicted on the format they decided to go with, as far as like moving through the decades for the theme. But it made a lot of sense given how she was raised and how she learned English.
Right.
So once you learn that, you're like, oh, that all makes a lot of sense. And I think that's a cool callback of she's having this mental break and that's why she's doing this, the way she's doing it. So I liked it a lot. I'm interested to see where it goes. It was very cool how they incorporated Agatha and the new White Vision.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting that they did it that way. But
so, yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with White Vision because he just flies away.
Yeah, and Agatha.
That too.
They've already confirmed that she's getting her own series as well.
Yeah, Agatha, the House of Harkness.
Yeah.
So
that'll be interesting.
That will be.
All right, and then so we know the movies. We all like the movies. So what was the next TV show after that? Was that Hawkeye? Oh no, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier was after that. Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie clearly have good chemistry together.
Right.
The banter they have and all that is top tier. I was kind of not a fan of the Who's Captain America storyline.
Right.
Like whatever. But then they incorporated that and brought in U.S. agent.
Right.
So, okay, I get it. But the show overall was good. Probably my least favorite of the Disney Plus series, though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one was my second after Loki.
Okay.
So I liked it. I liked seeing, so like what you said, the two characters have chemistry on screen. This is kind of what I was talking about when I was talking about like Anthony Mackie being the lead for the Twisted Metal show and how I don't have real faith in it because I've seen him in other things. And if he's not into it, he's not into it. And you can tell by his acting, he's into being Falcon and the MCU. And you know what I mean? Like his acting, if you watch that and then watch the second episode or a second season of like Altered Carbon, like I get it, they're two different things, they're not trying to be the same character, but you get that disenchantment of how he portrays certain characters and how he is in that show compared to how he is in other things, because I've seen him in a couple other movies and shows and shit like that as well. His heart is in the MCU, which is good, and I'm looking forward to seeing Captain America 4.
Yes,
with him being Captain America, because I like the suit. Like, I think of all the suits,
looks good.
That is that's the top tier like comic related outfit.
Yeah, it was a solid choice.
Yeah, it's spot on with what he looks like in the comic books, which is really fucking cool. So, and then you said after that you had Hawkeye.
TV for the series, yes.
Yeah.
Which is what I just finished right before we started recording.
So what do you think of that?
Huge fan.
It was good, right? I didn't think I was going to like it
lot.
like that.
That was my favorite one, I think.
That's awesome.
I think that was my favorite one because I shockingly had avoided spoilers for that show up to this point.
Ooh, man. So,
Yeah.
so tell me about it. What did you think? The end
Awesome.
or the
But
reveal? I guess.
Yeah, the reveal, which was in the second to last episode, the very end of episode 5, was like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. That's awesome.
Right.
Which I don't know. Do you think it's been out long enough now that we can just say it?
Yeah. If you haven't watched it by now, like that came out late last year. Yeah, November, December.
It was all around Christmas time, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kingpin makes his reappears.
Yeah, which is super fucking awesome. I was very excited about that, and then I so wanted Charlie Cox to show up in some form, and he did in Spider-Man. Dude, when I saw him in Spider-Man, the excitement that I had because they gave it to me. They gave me Kingpin, and they gave me fucking Daredevil, man, and I'm so fucking stoked. And it was awesome to see that in Hawkeye.
Yeah. I also enjoyed the more character development part of Clint.
Right. Because, yeah, they kind of like stunted him from Avengers 1 on a little bit.
Yeah. So there was a lot of character development for him that I really appreciate. Like, they kind of really explore how he feels alone. And really, he kind of is.
Right.
Like, Rogers is gone. Stark is dead. Natasha's dead. Who's left? Thor's off planet with Guardians. Banner's still around, but what's he up to? They're obviously not, hanging out.
Right.
And they briefly mention that he has intermittent contact with Scott, with Ant-Man.
Right.
Other than that, that's it. Like he really is actually alone now.
Yeah. And it was neat to see, like, while they didn't do that trope where you see him like moping all the time, it hit like he was trying to do right by his family. Christmas is a big deal. He's trying to do right by them. He's also still struggling with Black Widow dying. You know what I mean? And that did come up in the show, and which we knew at the end of Black Widow what was going to happen.
Right.
If you watch the secret scene, it kind of showcased like she was going to go after Hawkeye. So I liked it a lot. I liked it more than I thought I was going to. Like, I thought it was going to be another level of like, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully it gets better type thing. You know what I mean? But I will say that is my third favorite show behind. So it's Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then Hawkeye.
I felt like there was a lot of good dialogue in it too between him and Kate.
Yeah.
Like, I think one of my favorite scenes in the whole thing, as far as like comedic relief for a moment, was when she's like, why do you wear a hearing aid? How did you damage your hearing? And then it does a flashback of all of the explosions he's been around the entire MCU.
Right.
And he's just like, it's a long story.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that a lot too.
Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, it really developed his character quite a bit, especially like that scene after his hearing aid gets damaged. He's on the phone. He gets that phone call from his son, and she's she's writing down what he's saying. It's like, damn, that's rough.
Yeah. That's a very Spider-Man-esque moment. You know what I mean? He became the everyday hero, a very relatable hero. Yeah. He has no superpowers. He doesn't have the billions of dollars to create a suit. You know what I mean? He's just a guy wearing cloth that's good at shooting an arrow. You know what I mean? So I liked it for that.
As he would say, how am I a threat? I use 2 sticks and a piece of string.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. So it was done really well. And I hope that they do a second season of that. Now, when they came out with all these shows, and what they're still doing is coming out with these shows, they're saying it's a limited run series. Which I'm essentially them saying, like, we'll see how it goes, right? We'll see the reception. But they said Loki was limited run, and they've already greenlit a season 2, which is really fucking cool. I hope they do the same thing for Hawkeye.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I'm trying to see on here. I'm looking at the list.
And we got Moon Knight coming out at the end of the month.
Moon Knight.
And then in June, we have Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
So, which they did show the trailer for. I like you and I said off line or whatever. Like, I know what this is going to be. So I'm kind of going into it with zero expectations. You know, I'm not expecting it to be bad, but it's not one of those ones where I'm like, man, I hope that they don't fuck it up. Like, I love this character and yada yada. It's like, we'll see how it goes. Because I feel the same way with like She-Hulk. I'm actually looking forward to She-Hulk just to see what I'm looking forward to. You know what I mean? It's like when we were at San Diego Comic-Con and they announced Doctor Strange and Ant-Man coming, and everybody just like looked around like, what? And I was like, man, I can't fucking wait for Ant-Man and Doctor Strange. I was like, I feel like those two are going to be really good. And they were. You know what I mean? Like, as long as I don't go in there with a negative attitude, I think the show is going to be fine.
I don't think I was there for that Comic-Con announcement with you. We were at the Comic-Con where they announced the beginning of the MCU.
Right. Yeah, when they dropped the crate and it showed Iron Man suit. Yeah, we saw that.
Nobody knew what was in it. They just said, come back on Sunday to find out what's in this giant fucking crate in the middle of Comic-Con.
Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, when I heard about Ant-Man, man, I was stoked about it. I was like, I think it's going to be good. If anything, it's going to be fun. Like, a guy who can shrink down to the size of ants. Can you imagine the fucking shenanigans you're going to get into? And then you see him do it. You know what I mean? So,
which, speaking of that, so in Hawkeye, Kate shoots an arrow that shrinks a truck using PIM particles. How the fuck does he have PIM particles?
I'm sure Scott gave it to him.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd like to know, because those are pretty tightly controlled, even by Scott.
Right.
And
I do think Scott gave him one. Hawkeye isn't one to, or maybe he took it. You know what I mean? But like, it could have been something that he received during, the Avengers Endgame, when they were going through time in the case he needed it, and never did it.
But there was a huge thing in Endgame where it's like, we only have enough for this trip. There's no more there, and if we fail, we can't get more because Hank's gone.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
I think it's awesome though how they incorporated the snap into all these series.
Yeah.
And they showed the snap from a perspective of somebody who was snapped.
Right.
As Natasha's sister.
Yeah.
Where she's just in the bathroom and then boom, she's in the bathroom again. And she's like, what the fuck just happened?
5 years later, she's in somebody else's house.
Well, it was the same person, but there was a family there because she got married and had kids. And it was a whole thing. So, but it showed it from a perspective we hadn't seen before.
Yeah, I liked it. It was really well done. It was cool. I like it a lot. So I'm looking forward to Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight's going to be very exciting. And that one's coming out at the end of the month.
We'll find out. But the big takeaway here is that I finished the MCU chronological watch through, which started on January 1st, 2021 for me. Took me 14 months. Now, to be fair, there was like a 2-3 month period where I didn't really do much with watching because I was watching shit.
Right.
Cloak and Dagger and The Runaways was the biggest fucking drag. But once I got back into like the well-made stuff, damn, did it go by fast. I mean, how much, like, we just went over a huge chunk and I watched that in a week.
I know.
Because it's good and I was drawn into it.
It was so fucking crazy, man. You're like, I'm starting Loki episode 4. I finished Loki, like the series. I'm starting WandaVision. And then you're like, I'm done with WandaVision. I was like, holy shit, man. And that was done a weekend.
Yeah.
Mind you. Like
that was like a day.
Yeah. So I was like, I was out. I was at dinner. I just looked down on my phone. I was like, gee, holy shit.
I'm just sitting there building Legos, watching. So it fucking cranks out, man.
Yeah. That's awesome. You know what else cranks out though?
Again.
Huh? Oh yeah.
Being a kid again, playing with toys and watching TV, like that's living my best life.
That's youth, man. Right there. That is the youth. So while you were doing that, we're almost done with Mythic Quest. We're doing that. So we have 2 episodes left. But that'll probably be tomorrow. When we finish that tonight, we're going to watch Encanto with the kids because we've not seen it. And we want to watch Turning Red at some point because everyone's saying it's really good. So we'll see that. But I've been watching The Last Kingdom, which is on Netflix. It's season 5. It is the final season. And man, like I like the show a lot. So I was very excited when it came out, and there's, I think, 10 episodes in season 5, and I have 2 episodes left. Really good. If you're not familiar with The Last Kingdom, it's essentially a story of the Danes and the Saxons during like the very early parts of England and, you know, King Alfred and all that. So it's actually really cool. So I like this. After this, I'm going to go through and I'm going to start watching Vikings because I kind of want to see more of that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's what I've been watching. But there was news that I think it was yesterday, the Batman has passed $500,000 worldwide.
$500 million.
$500,000. Oh no, shit! More than $500 million. Yeah, you're right. Fuck, man.
Yeah, $500,000 would only be 500,000, bro.
Yeah,
I think it passed that.
Yeah, so $505.8 million at the global box office. So, safe to say it's a successful movie.
I would say so.
So, you know, that's really cool.
Word of mouth has been really good for it.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm hearing the same thing that I've actually said. It's a little bit long. I mean, we could have probably trimmed the fat here and there, but overall, I liked it. You know, I feel the length a little bit, but I thought it was a good movie. And they actually, DC just came out and said that they're going to be doing a Riddler comic book based off the Riddler in this movie. And it's going to be written by the guy who played Riddler.
Oh, interesting.
So Paul Dano. Yeah, he'll be writing it.
Okay.
So that's actually pretty cool. So you're going to essentially learn how he became the Riddler from the mind of Edward Nashton himself.
Seems intriguing.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested in it. I haven't read comic books in a long time, but I might pick that up just to check it out, you know, see what it's going to do. Unless they drag it on, then maybe I'll just wait for the trade to come out and read it all at once.
Always an option.
Yeah. But speaking of going back to the MCU a little bit, right? So Disney Plus has begun pre-production on a new Daredevil MCU show.
Yeah, buddy.
So stoked, man. I am so stoked. So now, while they haven't actually stated that the actors coming back, you know, Charlie Cox and all them coming back for it, they did say that so like Kevin Feige obviously is going to be coming back as the producer. No timing obviously is given. So this is one of those things where it's like you announced it, we're excited because you at this point you kind of have to. You gave us Daredevil and Spider-Man, you gave us Kingpin and Hawkeye, and you're just gonna let it sit there and stew. Like, they know what we want, and they gave it to us. They told us they're working on it, or they're gonna begin working on it. So as long as I don't have to keep hearing about it, I should be good. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's being worked on. Give me a trailer or like a poster right before, like the day before the trailer or whatever, when it's closer. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was pretty fucking exciting. I can't wait. I want more Daredevil. And based on how they're doing like Deadpool 3, right? It's going to be a R-rated movie and such like that. I have a feeling Daredevil is going to be a continuation of what the Netflix show is.
I hope so, because So there's been some controversy and pushback with MCU from Netflix, those shows being added to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Because they're TVMA. So there's been a lot of like, this isn't what Disney Plus should have. People have been pretty upset, apparently. Some.
The Karens.
Yeah, pretty much. When I logged in to Disney after they made that switch, it asked me to reconfirm my login. So I had to log in fresh again. And then when I selected a profile, it said, hey, we've added some things to our catalog that are only appropriate for adults, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to have this profile be able to access that content? Please confirm. So I said, yeah, I want my personal profile on there to be able to access that. And it said, cool. Thanks for letting us know. Please confirm your email and login password one more time and set up a profile specific PIN so that somebody else can't just sign in and then access your account with access to this content.
Right.
So they're taking active steps to prevent people, i.e. kids, from accessing things that their parents may not want them to. Yeah. So they're taking reasonable steps. So people need to just shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah. I mean, I did the same exact thing. I made sure that my profile and Mary's profile were adults. I made sure that Mary's oldest kid is, she's 14. So sure, you can watch whatever. You're fucking watching Euphoria, So you can handle a Netflix Marvel show if you really want to. But the youngest one, I made sure I was like, nah, we'll keep it as is. Yeah. So the youngest one is going to have access to Disney Plus as she knows it, or before the update. So, you know what I mean? It's just like whatever. You know your kids, and they are giving you the tools to manage that shit. I know you got to parent a little bit. Don't be mad at the company because they're not doing the parenting for you.
They're doing everything reasonable, and so people can just shut the fuck up about it now and move on.
Yeah, I agree. But one more thing in the news that happened yesterday. MGM was acquired by Amazon for just shy of $9 billion.
Yep.
You know what that means?
What?
It means that Amazon owns James Bond.
I don't think that's entirely accurate.
Why not?
Because I believe intellectual property control does not rest with MGM. I think they just have exclusive rights.
All right. Well, yeah, they don't have the books, but they have what made me excited is after we watched James Bond and we start talking about like a 007 series, I think Amazon will do a great job if they go about that way. Because they're doing these TV shows for like Lord of the Rings and shit. I could see them doing a James Bond type show, or a 007 series.
Nah, maybe. So, because I thought the same thing. I was like, wait, does that mean they own, XYZ? Eon Productions, EON Productions, that company is who owns the production rights to that character, to James Bond. And my understanding is that MGM has exclusive distribution rights, not production rights. So if Eon Entertainment or Productions makes more James Bond content, they will have to go through Amazon ultimately to distribute.
Right.
So what that means going forward, I guess we'll find out. But Amazon can't just my understanding, Amazon is unable at this time to unilaterally say, this is what we're going to do with this character for James Bond.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's still exciting to see. I was talking about this with a friend, and what I thought was very interesting in something like this overall was I thought Amazon was going to be the one that went after retail. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to acquire Target. We're going to acquire Walmart. We're going to acquire Macy's. And they kind of went the opposite way in a surprising way where they're like, we're going to acquire this movie studio and such. So it's like they're becoming their own version. They're becoming the villain to Disney.
kind of. And it makes sense that Amazon may not have chosen to do that because then they have to start dealing with antitrust issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could buy. I don't know. I don't want to say they could, but they probably could if they wanted to make an offer to Target to buy them out, right?
Right.
Then they have to. Then really, their only competitor would be what? Walmart. And now you start dealing with deeper government scrutiny and increased competition because now you're consolidating certain segments of market, and it can get real messy. So diversifying is probably the safer long-term bet for Amazon.
Right.
I don't know. That's just speculation on my part without actually looking into it at all. But
yeah,
it kind of makes sense.
And they are pretty diverse. You know what I mean? You have your movie and TV show entertainment. You have your stores, essentially, right? Your shopping with Amazon Prime and all that. And then they've jumped into the video game spectrum as well. So they got a nice trifecta.
Yeah. And really, why would they need to buy out any retailers?
Right.
They already dominate that segment.
That's true.
They don't need to grow anymore. Would they want to? Yeah, probably. But again, is it worth the cost of extra scrutiny and hassle?
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be more James Bond content in the future. I'm not worried about that part.
I bet you there will be a show, though. I mean, they'll work it out. If you can go to space and you can drop $9 billion on this shit, you know, you'll fork over whatever you need to make a series, especially, you know, in a like you're doing like the Lord of the Rings. I have a feeling you could do an awesome job with a James Bond series or a 007 series.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're fine. Because what is it? Let's see here. I'm trying to find out how much cash on hand the company of Amazon has. They have Amazon's cash on hand for the quarter ending December 31st, 2021 was $96.049 billion. They paid 10% of their cash on hand, not total value of everything they could have, right. Just their cash money. It only cost them 10% of that to buy MGM.
Hot damn.
So yeah, I think they're doing okay.
Yeah.
Like even if this went completely belly up and they made no money off of anything that they get from MGM, they only lose 10% of their cash on hand that they have currently, which increased 13.81% from the previous year. So they're risking 10% on a growth of 13%.
Yeah.
So even if they get nothing out of it, they'll be ahead 3%. If the same growth happens, they'll be ahead 3% the next year. Either way, it's not really much of a risk for them.
Right. It's like, yeah, like they got a tip and then they spent that tip and kept their paycheck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good for them.
Must be nice.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's so that's all I have for that. But let's go ahead and jump into our favorite segment.
Q&A with DNA. All right. Sir, who's going first this week?
You can go first.
Okay. Let's see what we have. Andy.
Yeah.
What changes, if any, have you made to reduce your impact on the environment?
Nothing. I go outside and I crank up my car and I just rev it up. And then I burn on no burn days.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Cool.
So I try to. So like one of the most recent things, which is, it sounds completely dumb, right? But Xbox actually did an update on their system for, I forget the name that they have, right? So it's not sleep mode. It's the other one, energy saver mode.
Oh, yeah.
So I updated my Xbox and then I put it in energy saver mode. So I'm not burning as much energy with it being in sleep mode. It takes a couple more seconds to boot up, but like I really don't care. It's not noticeable by any means. You know what I mean? So I've done that. I try not to just go out and drive and burn all that shit. I mean, I recycle. I try to keep conscious about what it is that we're trying to do. I like to support companies that are doing like recycled packaging and like they're trying to lower their carbon footprint a little bit. So I try to support them more than I will other companies. I think that's about it right now. You know what I mean? Like eventually when we buy a house, I want to get solar panels. You know what I mean? I want to get I want to get like an electric car of some sort, whether it be a Tesla or some sort of hybrid or something, you know what I mean? To kind of do that, my part with that.
I dig it.
I try when we go out to restaurants, I try not to use straws. Like it's getting to the point where it's becoming a little annoying for me. So I might actually buy like one of those collapsible metal straws and just keep it in the car or whatever on me, you know, when I know we're going to go out to a restaurant, so I can use that as opposed to the straws and the other utensils and stuff like that. So I'm trying to do shit like that.
Fair enough. Good for you.
Thanks.
I'm on not the exact opposite spectrum, but I don't go out of my way personally. Any changes I make that help the environment are all financially motivated.
Right.
So, like, we have smart thermostats. So I went through the process of programming it so that during peak hours, it doesn't cost us as much money, which ultimately reduces our overall energy consumption, which is good for the environment. That's fine. But that's not my primary motivator for me. The way in which I drive. If I drive fast and aggressive, it costs me more money because my gas mileage goes down.
Right.
So when gas gets more expensive, I drive a little more conservatively, so it costs me less to fill up. That kind of stuff, which is good for the environment. But again, it's not my primary motivation.
So it's selfish reasons.
100%.
Yeah, which isn't bad.
But I also don't go in my backyard and I'm just like, oh, I have styrofoam I need to get rid of. Oh, just fucking melt it down in a fire. Like I don't do that either. So I just go about my day. I don't put a lot of if I could have an electric vehicle, like the F-150, they have an F-150 now. It's called the Lightning. It's an electric truck. I wouldn't mind one of those, but they're so fucking expensive. Who can afford it?
Right. Which they will go down. I mean, the TVs that we have when they were plasma were fucking out of control. And now we can go get shit like for $350, you know?
Yeah.
So give it a couple years.
Yeah, I mean, which is part of Tesla's problem. Teslas are really expensive, but that's because they're having a hard time ramping up the scale of their production.
Right.
So once they figure out that problem, the cost of Teslas should go down. But
which will be awesome.
So it's probably just a matter of time. But again, I'm not going to spend more money in the hopes that I can save the environment, because I'm not going to sit here and say I'm only one person. What can I really do that makes an impact? Because the more people that do, the bigger the impact. I get it.
Right.
But if we're being realistic, I could become carbon positive for the rest of my life, and it will not matter, because unless a billion other people do it, something like Nestle will always be the counterbalance, right? Someone like Shell and Exxon may always be the counterbalance that you can't overcome, even if 100 million other people do what you do.
Right.
So realistically, there's not a ton a single person can do other than save themselves a little bit of money and, chip away slowly.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, I guess.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, it does sound like it's kind of like an uphill battle at certain points, like when it comes like trash day here. I mean, there's so many people who just throw their shit in the fucking can willy-nilly that when the trash guy comes, the breeze takes it out of the can before it even goes into the truck. So it's rolling down the fucking street.
Yeah.
Which is fucking gross. So I'll try to grab it and put it in, and I'll put it in a trash bag. So when then the next week they come, it's in a trash bag that's tied, and it can be disposed of properly, just like with batteries and electronics. Like I try to do what I can to not just toss it, because it's like that's fucking whatever. I would like to go. So there's a company that I really like called 4Ocean, and they're located like in San Diego and Belize, I think, and a couple other places. Like I think there's one in India, where they go out into the ocean and different beaches and they clean up all the garbage there. And like I see them on Instagram, so I see like all the shit they like. It's so fucking gross, man. How much plastic is out there? Like flotillas, you know what I mean? Just like out in the open ocean or on the beach, and they're doing a pretty good job cleaning it up. And now they've evolved their company to do like a tire, like a tire disposal. Like they'll actually go into the ocean and grab tires and send them up to the boat so they can take care and dispose it properly. They actually recycle a lot of that shit too, and they make those bracelets that they sell. So like it's like for every $20 you spend, it counts toward a pound of trash being taken out of the ocean. So I try to support that. Like I have a number of bracelets that I have for there, and they try to like theme it like by color. And that color goes with like certain animals, like the orca. This month is the orca, and this month is a great white, and this month is a seahorse, and yada yada, what have you. And then so like the beads that are on there are the glass that they've actually pulled out of the ocean and shit like that. And then the thread that goes around there is actually the plastics that they get. Okay. So they take it and they recycle it, and then they sell it, which then helps fund them to continue to go out and do that. So there's a new one I want to get for the tires, where it's like it's recycled tire that they're using for bracelets, and they look cool. I like them, so I just need to get my hands on one of them. But ultimately, what I was saying, I was like, Mary knows it's only a matter of time before I'm like, I'm going to use my vacation time and go down there for, go somewhere and try to see if I can't do something for at least a couple days, and jump in there and try to clean shit up. That's interesting for me.
Yeah, fair enough. You do you, boo-boo.
I will do me. All right, Dan, you ready?
Sure.
All right. What do you complain about more than anything else?
Huh. Oh, there's such a list.
Now, before you jump into it, I know you have a hard out in 15 minutes, so...
Yeah. Yeah. So, what do I complain about the most? Probably, more generally speaking, it's probably my overall self-perception of consistently bad luck. And it's never in the big things, it's always in the little things. Like, holy shit, did I choose the wrong store at the grocery line today? Or, man, I have to be in this lane of traffic right now, don't I? That kind of shit. Or, damn it, I just bought this 3 days ago and now it's half off today. That kind of shit. So I probably complain about that quite a bit. And the only person that really sees, like, when I say something about it in front of most people, they're like, oh, it can't be that bad. Like, yeah, shit happens sometimes, but it can't be that bad. I hear that all the time. And that drives me crazy too. And the only person who really sees it as consistently as I do is Jessica, because she's my wife. So she's aware of everything going on with me and all the little things that happen. So she sees it, and she's like, when we first met, she's told me this. She's like, when we first met and you said stuff like that, I didn't believe you. But now that we've been together and married for a while, I understand why you are why I am the way I am, and why I complain about the things I do, because it really is fucking uncanny. But more specifically, the thing that I complain about the most would have to probably be general stupidity and situational unawareness of people. Like a good example would be traffic. Like, God, hey, you're in rush hour. And I get that we're all in rush hour and we can't go the speed limit. I understand that. What I don't understand is when traffic starts moving, fucking go.
Right.
Or, oh, you're coming up to an intersection and we have the green light, but you can see that motherfucking crosswalk sign flashing and it's only got 4 seconds left. So how about we fucking go so we can make it through the light? How about that kind of shit? Because I don't want to sit here at this fucking light for 3 minutes waiting for all these other people to make right-hand and left-hand turns and get in front of me and create more traffic for when it turns green and I get to go again. So how about you step on that gas pedal a little bit instead of going 12 miles an hour through a major street? How about that? Hey, I get it. We're at Costco on the day after payday on a Saturday afternoon and it's busy. I understand there's a lot of people here. How about you don't wander through the middle of an aisle with the biggest cart you can find and just generally block people and be completely oblivious? Move, you stupid fuck. So yes, the general stupidity of people and unawareness of what's around them.
Yeah.
Is so shockingly consistent. It's not a rare occurrence that I can overlook. It is all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. So at work, we have our team meetings on Fridays, and Mary's actually been doing this thing at work too. Like, you know, she's trying to build like a culture or whatever. She actually asked me a question earlier this week. She's like, it can't be work related, because this is what she was going to ask her people. It can't be work related. This isn't what it's about. But in your life, on your day-to-day thing, what is and you can only choose one, what is the one annoyance that you wish you could never deal with again? Like, I'm going to pick this, and it's gone. I don't know how it's gone. It's just gone. So, and she's like, you can't choose the gym because we just fucking started. So I was like, all right, it can't be work related. It can't be the gym. It would be traffic. I was like, yeah, we work from home, but I'm driving in traffic all the fucking time. I got to take the kids to school on one day. The next day I'm picking them up. So every day I'm in traffic and it drives me fucking crazy. Now, I don't go through the commute like you do, at least not anymore, but I used to go from Peoria to Chandler, right?
Oh God. Yeah.
Traffic fucking sucks, man. Like, if I never had to deal with that again, that would be my thing.
No, I can completely relate to that. And I'd even go a step further. Like, everybody says, oh, truckers are heroes. They keep the economy. And it's important. It is an important job they do. I get it. But they are fucking the biggest assholes on the road. Big rig trucks are giant douchebags. They can go fuck themselves. I will say it till the end of time. Yeah, they do an important job. That doesn't mean that they're fucking saints. They act like assholes.
Yeah.
And I won't change my mind on that. They can go fuck themselves. Oh, but you would starve if it weren't for truckers.
Nah, I would starve if it weren't for farmers.
They just annoy the shit out. Like, okay, cool. You're merging onto the freeway. You're merging into traffic that, let's say it's not even rush hour. A truck is merging into traffic that's traveling at 65 to 75 miles an hour, and they're going like 12. Oh, but they're going uphill and they're hauling something that's heavy. Cool. That doesn't mean they're not assholes for merging into traffic that's flowing, going like 12 to 15 miles an hour. You can't convince me that they can't go faster. They can, they just won't. Because it's not, I would say 10% of trucks I see merge aren't doing that, but most of them are. I don't know why. But I know that they're capable of it, but they don't. So now they're just fucking with people and they can eat a dick. Every car that gets ahead of me in traffic is one more variable that can fuck up my commute.
Yeah.
Like those people that you're at a red light and you're in the right lane, and those people that let somebody turn in to the lane that you're in because whatever, they want to be nice. No. Stop it. Fuck that person. Don't let them in, because now that's one more car that's in front of me between me and the light. And if the light turns yellow and they slam on their brakes because, oh no, it's a yellow light, I can't go through that. Great. Now I have to sit here for no reason because you wanted to be nice. Fuck you.
Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Jabberbox episode 35. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget that we post each and every week about whatever it is we want to talk about. If you like that, please join us over on patreon.com/dandydigital, where you can write in and be part of the show. Tell us what annoys you. And you can also get these episodes early. If you have no bucks to toss our way, that's just dandy. Go ahead and subscribe to us, rate us, share word of mouth. That would really help us and grow the show into something bigger and better. Until next time, just go.
Just fucking go. Have a good week, everyone.